Assalamualaikum, my name is Nuhairuddina binti Iskandar Zukhairi, the leader of this group, and we are going to present about the face mask, the struggle to meet demand for face masks, and you can click the link to have overview about this topic. What is face mask? Face mask is a protective covering for the part of the face, and this mask is to prevent yourself from breathing the bad air and or to shield your face when you are in a dangerous situation such as COVID-19 pandemic that has been with us almost 1 year. From the article that my group had choose, it stated that the face masks per day do not seem to meet the demand and meet in populations in Malaysia. In Kuala Lumpur, pharmacists claim that despite government promises that there would be enough supply for local needs, they will not be able to stock up on face masks over the past 2 weeks due to limited supply. Nevertheless, suppliers are also unable to get them from our local suppliers. The price of the face mask is also increased when shortage occurs. Due to the shortage in China itself, most retailers who import the face mask in China could also not get the stock. Everybody must wear a face mask, include children and adults. It is essential to concisely address more macroeconomic issues.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Adriana Natasha binti Muhammad Nasri. In this slideshow, I want to present about the summary of the macroeconomic issues of the face mask. As everyone knows, COVID-19 has caused a dramatic shortage in the supply of face masks, which is mainly explained by a surge in demand. Shortage happens when quantity demand is greater than a quantity supply. Disposable face masks are witnessing higher demand for themselves in current times because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Meeting demand for face masks has become one of the main issues for the government fighting the pandemic. The more buyers, the higher demand. This means the number of buyers can be affected by the size of population, which is panic buying and misuse of face masks has contributed to the shortage. The demand for face masks increases. Some traders take the opportunity to sell face masks at the higher prices than previously prescribed. The estimated retail price per unit set for the sale of 3-layer face masks is between 10.80 cents to Rm 1 ringgit. Competition in productions of face masks are also affect the number of sellers in market. It explains the more sellers in the market selling the face mask, the higher supply of the face mask.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shafika Shahira binti Rosman. I would like to talk about shortage of face masks. The cause shortage of face masks is the behavioral consumer that fail to control the urge to spend to access their expenses are uncontrollable by government. Their excessive spending on face masks makes some people in an area unable to buy it because they have run out of stock. Shortage also affected the number of potential consumers in determinant of demand. Next, the word lack of supplier face masks. As we know that China is the biggest supplier to produce of face masks, and the result of this COVID-19 disease will make the process of making face masks has been destroyed. The law of supply and demand in economic theory that explains how supply and demand are related to each other and how relationship affect the price of goods and service. So, higher demand of face masks will make price of face mask high too. We just need to remember the law of supply. Next, we can also see the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity change when demand or supply shift or change. There is graph show when quantity members of face masks increase, the cost of demand curve for face masks to shift rightward. In contrast, the cost of production also increase. causing the supply to shift leftward. Therefore, the equilibrium price will increase too from P0 to P1, while the equilibrium quantity will remain unchanged at Q1 to Q0.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ifaoni Vidya Zakaria. So I will talk about consumer expenditure. Face masks were an unnecessary item before the COVID-19 pandemic, where only few people need will purchase the face mask. The price change on face mask is effect with consumer expenditure, but it can be differently by consumer level income. Consumers with high income generally have an inelastic demand because being richer they are less sensitive toward the price danger. And the another one is consumers with lower income have an elastic demand, they being a little bit sensitive toward the price change because it will affect their budget considerably. So because of this problem, government take an action to implement price ceiling. Price ceiling is to help the consumer to enjoy the lower price. If you can see this figure is represent what will happen if the government implemented a price ceiling. Without intervention from the government, the quantity, demand and supply will be at QE, at the equilibrium price PE. At the input price PC, the quantity demanded will land at Q2. As you guys already know, price ceiling has advantage is to help the consumer enjoy the lower price. But price ceiling also has an advantage. First, this will be lead to development of black market and it provide higher prices for consumer. And this could lead to shadow economy and government would not be able to raise tax and would see a decline in wages. And last but not least, producers are not willing to produce more since they make less profit at a lower price. As you guys know, this price control only gives benefit to the consumer but not to the producer. Thank you.
Ahmad Nur Farhamin Tahamin. I will explain about competition in produce of face masks. Since the pandemic COVID-19 had begun spread to our country, a lot of sector of economy had shown the sharp decline, especially for the business sector, that showed the severe downturn. This is because face-to-face business activity have to be paused for several time to against this pandemic COVID-19 spread and become worse to our country. So as we know, during this pandemic COVID-19, the demand of face masks become very high, especially for the 3-ply face mask. So when the high of demand of face mask, some of sellers take this advantage to gain margin profit for their income. So the producer of the face mask have to produce a lot of face masks for the seller that want to sell the face mask. So when the height of produce of face mask, so the supply of the face mask will become more elastic. As the face mask become more priority to all citizens in our country, so there are large number of people that start their business to sell the face mask. They start to sell the face mask because this is the one of the good idea to get their income for spend in their daily life. But sometimes some of the sellers take some advantage from this hard situation, such as they had willing to cheat the customer about the condition of the face mask. They dry the face mask that had been used and resell it to the customer. So this is the wrong situation for the seller that sell the face mask. Some of the sellers also increase the price of the face mask for gain more for their profit. So this will cause harm for the customer during this pandemic. So this will cause harm to the customer, especially for this will cause harm to the customer, especially during this pandemic. Then, as the face mask become priority too, it also will cause a large number of producers to produce the face masks that are in high demand for today, especially the 3-ply face mask. So when more group of the producer, the more quantity of the face mask had been produced for the market.
During this COVID-19 pandemic situation, everyone needs to obey SOP that are set by government, which is wear face mask, apply hand sanitizer, and maintain social distancing. This causes the demand for face masks increases. In contrast, the cost of production and the equilibrium price also increases. Shortage appears when people are afraid when face masks running out of stock, so they buy large quantities at one time. Elasticity of supply happens when retailers want to earn margin benefit for their incomes. This will cause minor adjustment in production costs. Since supply of the face mask increases, government need to help consumers buy at lower price for face masks.